that for today? I think they finished yesterday, yeah? 15th chapter? No. It's okay. But I think Prabhu told me that I heard a class, but I don't know if they read the whole 15 chapters. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vindam. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vindam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Gouda Haribo Nitai Gouda Haribo 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 Nitai Gouda Haribo Nitai Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Jai Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. So we're reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, chapter 15, the Lord's Pauganda Lila. Text 23. Katha dinarahi mishra gela paraloka. Katha dinarahi mishra gela paraloka. Mata putra dunhara badila didishoka. Mata putra dunhara badila ridhi shokam. Katadin narahi mishra gela paraloka. Mata putra dunhara badila ridhi shokam. Katadinarahi mishra gela paraloka. Anyone else? Jai. Katadina. Some days. Rahi. Remaining. Mishra. Jagannath Mishra. Gela. Passed away. Paraloka. For the transcendental world. Mata. Mother. Putra. Son. Dunhara. Of both of them. Badila. Increased. Riddhi. In the hearts. Shoka. Lamentation. Please repeat. After some days, Jagannath Mishra passed away. From this world to the transcendental world. And both mother and son were very much aggrieved in their hearts. There's no purpose for this verse, so we will read the next one. That's what I said. That's the first thing that I said. So, Prabhu read the whole thing? All right. Oh, okay. That was what's called a curveball, because I wasn't prepared for that particular pastime. Okay. So, chapter 16, yeah? Is that what it is? Okay. In any case, so staying on this one, what I thought while preparing for this class, I thought first of all the question that we have is, who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And of course there are many, many things that can be said about, but as usual, our parampara teaches us that what we need to do is to learn whatever we need to learn from our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, I just selected some things that Srila Prabhupada says about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also I wanted to bring a PowerPoint presentation on the predictions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How come he appears and who says what and why? These sort of things. Because the first thing is to understand who is that we are dealing with here. Who is that we are talking about? Otherwise it may become a mechanical thing, niyamagraha, just doing it for the sake of doing it. Sunday morning, let me sit, and whatever they said, okay, for 40 minutes or so, and then prasadam, and then we forget. So I thought to bring some things that the Shastra says in regards of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, before moving on, since it's there must be a reason. Was it there yesterday? Nandu, is that verse there yesterday? Why he has?
They did 22 or 23. We read through
All right, through the whole thing. But anyway, just one thing I wanted to, because I was thinking, okay, this is what's going to be. What do you take from this verse? So who remembers what happens here? Do we have the microphone active? The one? Who remembers what happens here? What's the translation? You read it many, many times, and just in case. Here, he knows.
No?
Okay. So what happens here, Mate?
Well, Jagannath Mishra, after staying some days, he went back to Godhead.
Okay.
And Mata and Putra, the son and the mother, were very, grieving.
Grieving.
Riddhi shoka.
What is the word?
Riddhi shoka.
Shoka.
Heart lamentation.
Shoka is the one word that we need to remember from Bhagavad Gita. Which chapter? One. Shoka is the word that it is attributed to Arjuna because he was lamenting. So the last verse of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the first word of the last verse of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is Shoka. That's one word. Prabhupada said, Lord Shiva says, telling that Lord Vishnu said that if we remember one verse of the Gita, one line of the Gita, one word of the Gita, then we can achieve perfection. So I was thinking that when I saw the word, shoka, that's, if you can check it, 146, the first word of the last line of the last verse. Okay, but it's interesting here because in the Bhagavad Gita, who experiences this shoka? Obviously, who? Who is experiencing shoka? Arjuna. Okay. But in this case, who's experiencing shoka here? Of course, Mother Sachi, but who is experiencing? Sri Chaitanya. So how is it possible when Krishna is telling Arjuna, Natam suchitam arhasi, don't lament. 7 times he says, whether directly that same line or something similar to it. Don't lament. You know when the little ones are crying, then the father, mother, or the brothers or sisters, what they say, don't cry, it's going to be all right. Yeah? So Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't lament. Right? Many, many times in chapter 2. How come you're lamenting? You know, such an exalted person and you're here like a fool, crying. I don't know what to do. I don't want to do my job. I don't want to fight, etc., etc. But here, the interesting thing is that Sri Chaitanya is experiencing shoka. And who is Sri Chaitanya? Krishna. So Krishna is lamenting when he says, don't lament. How is it possible? Oh, that's good. Depends what you are lamenting for. Interesting. Because one time Mother Parvati asked Lord Shiva, what is the highest worship? You know that verse? Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat paradaram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. That of all the worships, the supreme worship is to the Lord. Right? Vishnur aradhanam param. Right? But even above that worship is the worship of his devotees. Right? So, even the Lord worships his devotees. And there are many, many verses like that. I forgot many of those verses. If anyone can help me. Jeme Bhakta Janaparta. Right? What's that? Adi Purana? There are some people who say they are my devotees. But they are not actually my devotees. Those who are devotees of my devotees, those are my real devotees. Right? So the idea is that the Lord here in Caitanya Caritamrita is representing how a devotee should act, think, feel, and even lament. Shokam. Sometimes we become very sad for some things that may happen in our life. So we need to check how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced. One devotee passed, it was when Pankajangri Prabhu passed away. And there was a bit of a controversy because somebody wrote in one of the forums, the many, many forums, that, Bhagavad Gita says we should lament. Why should we lament? Right? And as you can imagine, there was a cascade of arguments. But one devotee said it nicely. Because the Vaishnavas are not impersonal. And we feel. Sometimes we may ache and pain and cry. But we need to cry for the right reasons. Srila Prabhupada used to do his morning programs in New York in the early 60s, 66 actually. And then one of the first devotees, Garga Muni, as Prabhupada used to call him, Gargamoni. Right? And there's a book, I have the book, Gargamoni. So he stopped coming. Right? At that time, Prabhupada was preaching Caitanya Caritamrita. 1966 already, he was giving Caitanya Caritamrita classes. And And Prabhupada sometimes will give these very deep emotional classes on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. And sometimes he will become somewhat emotional as well. So what happened, Garga Muni Prabhu and his brother Brahmananda, who became the first temple president in ISKCON, he describes he was very, very attached to Prabhupada, very attached. So he didn't want to, because in one of those classes, from the Nectar of Devotion, we read that we should not cry in front of the deity and do other things. So Garga Muni Prabhu thought, okay, I shouldn't, because he was getting emotional, so I shouldn't be in front of Prabhupada. Or they had, I think, Panchatata, Radha Krishna, like that, altos. And so he stopped coming for the morning kirtans. That was the thing, The hippies and boys and girls would come and trip out with Prabhupada dancing and chanting. So he didn't come. So Srila Prabhupada noticed it. And then he asked him, he will come around later on. He asked him, where have you been? And then he said, oh, Prabhupada, he explained, he couldn't hide, couldn't lie. And then he told him, I just feel a little emotional, moved, and I don't want to cry in front of you or something like that. And then Prabhupada says, no, crying is good, but you have to cry for Krishna. That's the idea. Huh? Interesting. So here we have the Lord, who many times says in the Bhagavad Gita, don't lament. Huh? What's that? The first verse where Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita. What is it? 2:11? 2:11, right? Oh no, before he says, Kutastvakashmalamidam. But it is said, the experts, they say, the Bhagavad Gita begins in chapter 2. Because he starts instructing Arjuna in 2:11. Right? And he says, Asochanam basochastvam. Why are you lamenting? Asochan, there's a word. Asochan, ambasochastvam. This is not worth of lamentation. Huh? Who knows the verse? Asochanam basochastvam pragyavadams chavasase. Come on. Gatasumcha nanu sochanti panditaha. Huh? Socha, the word. Again, socha. No socha. Huh? Don't lament. Don't be like a fool. Prabhupada says, Krishna indirectly is calling Arjuna a fool. Right? So, in other words, those who lament are fools, if we can put it simply. But here, the Lord himself is lamenting. How can we understand? So, as the devotees explain, depends whom we lament for. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is lamenting for his father. And who is his father? Jagannath Mishra. And who is Jagannath Mishra? In Krishna Lila? Nanda Baba, of course. Nanda Maharaj. So, Krishna comes as what's called Chana avatar, hidden avatar. Like we were living in Mayapur for some years, mercy of my Guru Maharaj, and we lived in a place called Gupta Vrindavan. Right? Gupta Vrindavan. So what's Gupta? Gupta means hidden, secret. In other words, Mayapur is not different than Vrindavan. Right? Because Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he hides. Whenever someone says, oh, you're the supreme person, you are Narayan, what he will do? Cover his ears and then take a sprint and go where? Mahaprasad? No? Where? To Mother Ganga. Imagine somebody says that and then you run to the river. I don't know how you call that river. You should name it New Jamuna or something. The Viraja. That's the Viraja. Oh, Viraja River. So, like that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different, not only than Krishna, but also of Radha and Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahiyanya. So the question is, who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So this is what Srila Prabhupada says. It's quite interesting, the way that he introduces Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Before Srila Prabhupada begins his preaching, let's say full on, in the form of the Bhagavatam, right? This book was written in 1961, I believe. 61, 62, 63, 64. He produced 65, he came. So he produced one volume of the first canto each year. Right? So, you know, in America there was this thing that where were you where the man landed in the moon? I don't know if that was a thing here in Australia. Right? But I was living in the States around that time, a little later. Or where were you when Kennedy was killed? Some of you weren't born. We're not in this body, for sure. Right? So sometimes there's something important that happens and you remember. So maybe some of us remember, or someone can guess, where were you when Prabhupada landed? 65. Where were you when Prabhupada passed on? 1977. Anyone born 1977? Ghana is, I know. Right? So where were we when Prabhupada came? And what did he bring? He brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message. Because when he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, before even Prabhupada and his friend, what's his name? Malik, one of what's the name? His friend? Surendra Malik. No Ghosh. Surendra Malik. So Prabhupada says, he dragged me to see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And he didn't want, because so many sadhus, and sometimes the story says that these sadhus, or sometimes so-called sadhus, they will do some nonsense, and Srila Prabhupada observed that. For example, I'm going to say something a little bit, insider's information. Some so-called sadhus in India, they smoke ganja. You know what ganja is? Right? So, shouldn't say the word. The M word. And these people knew that Srila Prabhupada's fathers, whose name is, where is Nandu? You should know. Come on. Gaur Mohande. Gaur Mohande. You said it the other day. So they knew that Gaur Mohande was very, very generous. In fact, Prabhupada dedicates the Krishna book to him. And what does he say about him? A pure devotee of the Lord. Krishna book, right there. So they will go to him, and Gaur Mohande will give them money. And sometimes will arrange for the dealers to just provide them whatever. Prabhupada called him a pure devotee. Because what it is that Srila Prabhupada had so much faith. Srila Prabhupada's father had so much faith that you have to be generous. You have to respect whatever it is, maybe imperfectly, but they are trying. So he will ask Muslim saints, I forgot how they call imam or something. Fakir, yeah. He will ask them, please bless my son. What? And what was the blessing that he asked for Srila Prabhupada? That he becomes what? Servant of Radharani. Yes. You see? So, Srila Prabhupada had this very much instilled in his heart. He what was that? He said, my father will come around 10 in the evening, and he will go ding, 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 right? The bells. And then he will worship Radha and Krishna, and then he will put this may shock some of us, put some rice, right? In a corner. For whom? For the mouse. So, in the shop as well, but in the house as well. Everywhere. Come on, there's a mouse only there. If you have been in India, you know. They don't discriminate. So, they won't eat in the shop, the cloth that he would sell. He was a merchant. And also in the deities, the altar. I mean, it's not nice when we see like that. And then he will read. And what he will read? Who remembers what Gaur Mohan used to read at night? Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we can see how Prabhupada is carrying. Bhakta means that one who carries bhakti. Like you're carrying a water pot. So you're called the water boy. Right? In sports, eh? Water boy. You carry the. So bhakta means that one who carries bhakti. So Srila Prabhupada brought that. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati saw them, when they came in, and they saw them nicely dressed, he could identify. In India, it's quite easy. You can see more or less who is who. You know, if you're a little on the heavy side, right? What people say is, oh, he's doing very well. Business is going well. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. You know that past time, one time Prabhupada was walking, and he was walking with his devotees, you know, very sober every time. Very, you know, the devotees were there. Gargamuni Prabhu was there. I think Jadurani Matai and I don't know who, Satadanya Prabhu, Triadisha, one of them, the early devotees. And then there was a taxi driver. The taxi driver had, you know, a bit of a belly, protruding. And then Prabhupada says to one of the devotees, go and ask him, where does he get his, who's your provider? You know? So the man was perplexed. What sort of question is this? But you know, he had to obey what Guru says, you know? Who's your provider? That means that he's a good provider because he's, you know, he's healthy, wealthy, and wise. One time also Prabhupada was in Chicago airport. I had the chance to go to that airport. And you know how that airport is called? O'Hare. You know, so it's written, Hare, right? So Prabhupada is there. I think it was his top book distributor at that time, Tripurari Prabhu at that time. And he said, go and tell the managers to change the name of the airport and name it Oh Hare Krishna. And so he did. So Prabhupada brought that and he passed it on to his devotees. So as you can see, Prabhupada's passages are very sweet. And this book, it's called Caitanya Caritamrita. And the other day we were studying the Sri Upanishad, which is called Upadesha Amrita. And Prabhupada says, or is a translation, this is the ambrosial words, right? And ambrosial, it's originally a Greek word, something? Radhika, remember? Greek word. So Amrita, ambrosia, right? There you go. Anyway, very sweet. That's the idea. So this is what Prabhupada said in regards of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before he even starts preaching the Bhagavatam. In the modern age, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached the Srimad Bhagavatam by practical demonstration. So he's feeling for his father, great devotee of the Lord, Nanda Baba, none other. It is easier to penetrate, listen to this one. It is easier to penetrate into the topics of the Srimad Bhagavatam through the medium of Sri Chaitanya's causeless mercy. Okay? It is easier. Therefore, a short sketch. He says short. You know how many pages is the short sketch? 40 pages. Short. This is short. Short in comparison to the Caitanya Charitamrita. Short sketch of his life and precepts. What precepts means? Teachings. And this is interesting too. Srila Prabhupada dedicates his book. I know my wife has heard this 251 times. And she tells me, again you're saying the same thing. Prabhupada dedicates all his books to somebody. Right? Who he dedicates? The teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Yeah. Nandu is very special. He doesn't know how he knows, but he knows. I never read the Bhagavad Gita, but he knew the verse that we were asking for. Doesn't know how. called Previous Lives. Read chapter 6. Krishna will tell you there why. So, he dedicates the teachings of Sri Chaitanya to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Why? Why he dedicates to Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Interesting. I just read it. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in 1896, he sent the book called, what we just read, what were the last words? Life and Precepts of whom? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He sent them to Canada. But not only Canada. Now we found out that he also sent it to Germany and somewhere else. Forgot now. Huh? Yeah. England. But anyway, now it has come up that, and they found, and I saw the photos, one devotee is doing a PhD on the Goswamis and he found it. What's his name? Forgot now. Anyway, so he sent in 1896 this book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Life and Precepts. I have the book. In Mayapur you can get it quite cheap. And so Prabhupada says, it's no coincidence. The year of my birth, the Sankirtan movement was inaugurated. That's how Prabhupada sees it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sending that book. Can you imagine, in those 1896, no courier, no tracking system. But it arrived. And then my Guru Maharaj and others in Canada, they found the book. They were so excited. McGill University. So this is what Prabhupada said. Therefore, a short sketch of his life and precepts is inserted herein to help the reader understand the real merit of Srimad Bhagavatam. Imagine. Huh? It is imperative that one learns Srimad Bhagavatam from the person Bhagavatam. The person Bhagavatam is one whose very life is Srimad Bhagavatam in practice. See the sequence of what Prabhupada is describing here. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the absolute personality of Godhead, he is both Bhagavan and Bhagavatam, in person and in sound. This is quite poetic, eh? It's both Bhagavatam and Bhagavan, in person and in sound. Therefore, his process, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that is, of approaching the Srimad Bhagavatam is practical for all people of the world. It was his, capital H, wish that the Srimad Bhagavatam be preached in every nook and corner. In every nook and corner of the world by those who happen to take birth where? In India. Then Prabhupada explained Bharat means the whole world. He gave different meanings. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the science of Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, of whom we have preliminary information from the text of the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that anyone, regardless of what he is, who is well versed in the science of Krishna. What's that verse? Sudra Kedenoi Tattvaveta. Say Guru Hoy. The forbidden word nowadays. Be a guru. Everyone should be a guru. Say Guru Hoy. That's what Prabhupada is referring to, that verse. Who is well versed in the science of Krishna, in brackets, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Can become an authorized preacher or preceptor in the science of Krishna. There is a need for the science of Krishna in human society, for the good of all nations to pick up this science of Krishna for their own good, for the good of society, and for the good of all the world's people. How many goods are there? 3. For their own good, for the good of society, that means the people around them, and for the good of all the world's people. What's the Sanskrit word for the good? Shreyas. And this is the mission statement of the Bhagavatam. And that's what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears to show us how to obtain that good. So we don't have that much time as usual. But but we can go through. Where is the microphone? Sajani, you mind passing the microphone around when it comes to? Okay. So, we have a selection of nearly 20 Puranas and a few other scriptures that we're just going to maybe show one or two, depending on time, that describes how Lord Chaitanya is predicted in the scriptures. Okay, this was commissioned by my Guru Maharaj, and some of us, we put this together. So the story is, like every good story says, once upon a time, Lord Krishna decided to come to this material world. And there were some conversations there. I don't want to give you all the details. But particularly somebody was very, very, apart from Srimati Radharani, was very concerned. How come you want to go to that place, especially in Kali Yuga, etc., etc.? You can imagine how that conversation went, more or less. But somebody very special questioned the Lord about a few things, and we're going to just leave it at that, meaning to that particular instance. First of all, the devotees, when we offer prasadam to Krishna, one of the prayers is a poem that is composed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Maybe we can all read it together. Oops. It's not working. Rose. Static symptoms. Okay. Can everyone read this? Let's read it all together. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauda Tushe Namaha. Read it out.
Just the English?
Yeah.
O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, Rupa Goswami.
Okay. So at that point, there is an interaction with Mother Ganga. And the Sanskrit is very nice. So I'll show you. You there? Devagora Prabhu? Okay, I'll read it for the sake of Bhagirati Uvacha. Bhagirati is Mother Ganga. Bhagirati Uvacha. Try to pay attention because it's quite simple, the Sanskrit. Henata Ramanashresta Jashigo Lokamuttanam Ashmakam Ka Jatis Chandra Bhavishyati Kalo Yuge Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. That's Krishna talking, right? Kale Panchasahasrami Varshani Tishta Bhutale Papani Papino Jani Tuvyam Dashyanti Snanataha Man Mantra Upashak Parshat Bhashmi Bhuti Tattakshanat Bhavishyanti Dara Sanacha Snanan Devahi Janavi. Janavi is the name of Mother Ganga. Harer Nami Jatraiva Puranami Babantihi Tatra Gatva Savadhanam Avi Sardham Chashroyasi. Okay, so he's gonna, beautiful, eh? And you can get some things, right? It's incredible, incredible. This is real nectar. Even for someone who doesn't know Sanskrit, like myself. Okay, somebody can read. You pass it on to whoever you choose. Okay, Ganga, Mother Ganga said,
O Protector, Supreme Enjoyer, on your departure for the perfect abode Goloka, thereafter, what will be my situation in the age of Kali?
Next. This is Mother Ganga's question. What will happen? This is what Krishna answered. Krishna Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Okay, read it out loud.
Remain on earth for 5,000 years of Kali Yuga. Sinners will deposit their sins in you by bathing. By the sight touch and bathing of one who worships me by my mantra, all those sins will be at once burnt to ashes. O Ganga, there will be chanting of the name of Hari and reading of the Bhagavata Puran. Reaching such a place, attentively hear.
Okay? Yeah? Okay, so that's right. So this is the idea, this is the prediction, and then we have another, I think 17 Puranas and other scriptures that predict Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, but I don't want to rush through them because it won't make justice to the nectar that it's there. And at some point, some of you are mentioned there, some of us, from all the land. And sometimes, in some of the predictions, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur's predictions, he says Russian, Prussians, Americans, French, German. So if you come from some of those places or your ancestors, you are included. Okay? So this is the idea of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is he? It's Krishna himself who opens up his heart, and he comes and gives it to everyone through the devotees. That's the important message. And here, just to bring it back to the verse, what is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing? What is the word? The one word for that verse? Shoka. And that's the same word for the last verse of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna was lamenting, but was lamenting for the wrong reasons. But here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us example. This is what you should lament for. If any lamentation, sometimes, I work as a counselor and I hear a lot of crying on regular basis, And sometimes I think my Guru Maharaj often says, if you're going to cry, cry for Krishna. And if you cannot cry for Krishna, then what do you have to do? Cry so you can cry for Krishna. And if you cannot cry to cry for Krishna, then he goes on and on and on like that, okay? So if any tear comes, in your life, let that tear or tears be for Krishna. That is the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is just the beginning. He's just lamenting because his father has passed away. But later on, he will lament for many other situations. He will, at the end of his life particularly, he had to be kept in prison. Gambira could be translated as prison, because he was just uncontrollable. He will just run, go to the ocean, and he will confuse the ocean with Jamuna, and he will just jump in the Jamuna in his mind, and sometimes he practically will drown, and a fisherman will come and catch him and bring him alive, sort of thing. So he was totally mad for Krishna, right? And this is what he gave to the Goswamis. The Goswamis, also it is described by, who write the Sat Goswami Astaka? Srinivasacharya. Yeah, that they are chanting all day long, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? Their Hare Krishna means, where is Krishna, where is Krishna, where is Radha, where can I serve them? It's not like my Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare. And I finished my 16 rounds. Okay, put it away. Oh, now I can do whatever I want. I'm free. No, their chanting was, what is the essence of the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You have the microphone. Say it. Yeah.
It's to chant Hare Krishna and spread the holy names of the Lord.
Chant Hare Krishna for how long? 24 hours a day. The essence of all instructions. In the Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami, one of the leading disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, expresses 24 hours a day. When I read that the first time, I thought, oh my God, what did I get into? But is it possible 24 hours a day? Yes? Yes? Yeah, it is possible. Even in dreams, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, even in dreams. Right? You dream with devotees? Yeah, you dream? Yeah? Always, only. So that's the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. through the agency of the Vaishnava Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari. Hot milk. You can maybe drink hot almond milk or something. That's funny.